Someone got the brilliant idea to make an office diet bet due to COVID gains, with people pulling in their money to see who can lose the most weight by Thanksgiving. I am one of 7 people not participating. Lots of preggos, some bodybuilders, and people who maintained their weight who aren't interested. Since I've visibly gained, they thought I'd want to participate. I didn't. Jen, in charge of everything, kept dropping by to remind me to turn in my form and my money. I said, no thanks. Jen wouldn't drop it. Other people got involved, asking me why not all the time, it'll be fun. Don't be scared, I'd feel better and look better. I told them no, I wouldn't, and it's a great way to bond, we're all in it together, it's like Weight Watchers. I'm not interested, and then eventually, I said no, drop it. They decided I wanted them to convince me. 2 weeks into the bet, they tried to trick on the scale to shock me. I contacted HR, people finally backed down. I'm eating my food one day, rice and beans, people sitting with me start dropping hints that how they feel so much better now that they aren't eating carby comfort food all the time. I said, I'm glad you feel better. They took this as a sign that I knew I'd feel better again and started up, saying I could still join in. I finally freaking snapped and said, you guys screw. I'm a recovering anorexic. I get one whiff of competition and start starving myself for days and start puking up what I do eat until I'd have to get my 3rd oral surgery to remove rotting teeth. Does that sound worth it to you? Chorus of wow, and we were just joking. I said no, you weren't just joking. Congratulations, by the way. After you all wouldn't stop, I weighed myself for the first time in 7 years and didn't eat for 2 days. Does that make you all feel good? None of them would look me in the eye, so I just went home for the day. I got a call from the women in HR, who were shockingly supportive of me. One of the bodybuilder guys stepped up and said he's witnessed a lot of the harassment and he doesn't blame me for my outburst. A few others did too. However, they had to cancel the diet bet, I didn't ask them to, and people are blaming me. Saying that I can't take a joke, it wasn't that deep, and the girls present said they no longer feel safe working with me because I obviously have mental issues. One of them made a big stink about politically correct crap and how I'm the typical hypersensitive millennial. I go back and forth on this all day, thinking I should have just swallowed my anger and gone back to HR or just stopped eating lunch in the office or whatever. I didn't mean to ruin anyone's fun, but I also feel justified in pushing back on their harassment. Am I the idiot? No. You're not the idiot. Anorexia is a horrific illness and it's not something to be played around with. You were in a good place and they put you in the bad place. I'm sorry that this has happened to you and I really hope you are receiving the support you need. All your coworkers who have essentially tried to get you to play along are freaking idiots. They pushed and pushed and pushed and didn't like it when their own idiocy got a snap back, not only from you, but from HR, who I am assuming is the one who shut down the bet. Not the idiot. The event was cancelled because they couldn't respect your boundaries, not because of you. To be honest though, I'd start looking around at other jobs. I had a job where a manager kept trying to get handsy with me, and after 6 months of asking him to stop, I reported him to HR. People started getting mad at me because they had to do harassment training and he was just messing around, it was a joke. I was written up and reported by coworkers 5 times in 3 weeks over lies until I gave my notice. Not the idiot. The fact that these people couldn't take no for an answer in a group setting is highly disturbing. Peer pressure is super real in work cliques and elsewhere, and it's a dangerous setting to be a part of. I can't say I'm surprised that HR sided with you considering what you said to them, having a history of an eating disorder. I'm really happy others were there to corroborate your story and stand up for you. I can't imagine what this did to you, as you constantly had to say no. I'm sorry you had to go through this. My sister-in-law is in her late 30s. Myself and my husband, her brother, are both 26. I have been married to him for going on 6 years and we have been together since the end of freshman year of high school. Very briefly we stayed with her. I think we moved in when we were 19 and we left about 6 months later when we bought our first home. Throughout the entire time we were there, she did nothing but crap all over my husband. She was constantly speaking horribly of him because of the decisions he made before we started dating. She continuously told me to watch my back because she feared for my happiness and feared that he would screw me over. Needless to say, my husband has been fantastic to me since the very beginning. So, I had dealt with this for a while. Had multiple discussions with my husband and he basically just wanted to leave it alone. He chalked it up to her just being a negative person due to her marriage slowly failing. He refuses to help her with anything, but he also goes about it like she has never said anything. His way of coping, I guess. Last weekend we were invited over for a BBQ. A few family members showed up that I had yet to meet. However, my sister-in-law at one point started bashing my husband in front of everyone the second that he walked away to go help her son with something that she refused to help him with. Her comments ranged from him being a terrible husband to having zero work ethic. He has been with the same company for almost 7 years. The whole family was tuned in, listening to her bash him, and not one person spoke up. I was trying desperately to do as he wanted and just leave it alone, but her final comment of "he will always be a nobody" really struck a nerve. I looked at her and said, "Do you not have anything better to do with your life? Do you seriously think that anyone wants to hear you openly bash a man who has done nothing to you? Your own brother no less." The family fell silent and my sister-in-law was just gawking at me. This is the first time I have spoke out of line. She finally said something like, "I know him better than you. You seem to forget that." So I said, "Well, say it to his face then instead of being freaking two-faced and pushing your crap off on me, or any of us for that matter. Where's your husband? Why are we not discussing that he doesn't even hang out at a family BBQ or sleep in the same bed anymore?" She stormed away from the table after telling me that my disrespect was disgusting. Apparently she was crying in the bathroom when my mother-in-law found her. Everyone in the group started saying things like, "Is she always like this?" Or "He seems like a damn good man to me." Or "Yeah, where is Chris anyways?" Chris's sister-in-law's husband. So needless to say, everyone was on my side except my other sister-in-law, who has gone to great measures to make sure I know that she now freaking hates me and thinks I'm a dumb idiot. Am I the idiot? Wait, so because of the decisions he made before we started dating, you mean, what, 13 or 15? Younger? Since you two started dating at the tail end of freshman year and had been together for about 4 years when you moved in with her. What 13 or 15-year-old makes good decisions? And while you didn't go into details, it doesn't seem to have been the type of decisions that had a long-lasting negative impact, so. Like, I get that people that are abusive rarely make sense, but that takes the cake, seriously. Anyways, not the idiot. Not the idiot. I love how sisters think that they know everything about someone they haven't really had dealings with in years. Your sister-in-law is 13 years older than your husband. Assuming she left home when she was 18 and your husband was 5. How can she really know him at all? She's the idiot and you stood up for your husband. If she couldn't stand the heat, she should have stayed out of the kitchen. Also, this was much more effective coming from you than if your husband had responded. Not the idiot. She claims to know him better than you, but you've known him for almost half his life. Not only that, but the crap she's talking is about how he's a crap husband, which she definitely would not know better than you, as you're the one he's actually married to, and his work life, which she also doesn't know jack about unless they work together, which I doubt, so the idea that she knows him better is a joke. I can see where going after her relationship may have been a bit underhanded, but as they say, play stupid games, win stupid prizes. My wife and I are expecting our first in May. We've been together 10 plus with 7 of them married, so naturally we've discussed all things baby, family, etc. One of the things that has come up before is the day of our little one's arrival. I've stated in no uncertain terms that I believe the only ones in the delivery room outside of medical professionals should be her and I. My wife, however, has expressed that she'd like her mother to be in the room. We haven't discussed this in some time, and definitely not since finding out we're expecting, but I do anticipate the topic coming around again soon. I take issue with my mother-in-law being there because while she has been very supportive throughout the process, unsuccessful attempts for years followed by several rounds of in vitro fertilization, I'm of the opinion that this is one of those bonding moments for us and us alone, since we are the ones directly involved in this event. I'm not saying she shouldn't be at the hospital or even come in to see her before the procedure begins. I'm fine with all of that. But when it comes time for the main event, so to speak, I feel it's time for her to head to the waiting room. I want this time alone with my wife to laugh, to cry, to enjoy our child privately before they become a spectacle for everyone else. I've learned quickly that pregnancy hormones are a very real thing, so I'm not entirely certain what to expect when this conversation happens again. So I'm wondering, am I the idiot if I stick to my guns on this one, or am I better off taking one for the team, swallowing it up and letting my mother-in-law, in my opinion, ruin the moment? You're the idiot. I'm sorry, in marriage you absolutely have to compromise, but not on this one. She's the one who is going through all the physical trauma of carrying and delivering a baby. Your only job is literally to make her comfortable and help her through this. You need to swallow it up and might end up appreciating your mother-in-law help. It sounds to me, you might not understand how childbirth works. I don't mean that in a mean way, but it can go on for hours, sometimes days. There can be all kinds of complications, you just don't know. You're the idiot. I get it's a moment for you, but your wife is going to be going through one of the scariest, painful and physically traumatic events that one can go through. If she wants someone there to support her, she gets to have that person there to support her. It's unfair to tell her that even though she wants or needs someone there, when she will actually need some support, that she can't have them because you don't want them there. Also, if you are having a baby at a hospital, that room is going to be full of people anyways. You're the idiot. But not because you're a bad guy. For women, I am one, I gave birth. The whole giving birth thing is very stressful, and although I did not want my mom there, I can totally understand if your wife wants it. It's her body. It's a very invasive and overwhelming thing to give birth. She feels fragile and vulnerable. She needs all the support she can get. You will have many special moments together with a baby. You can still be the first one to hold it. And who knows, maybe you need some support as well once it's happening. I, 28, have been married for 8 years and we have 2 children together. I'm a pretty decent cook and baker and I have done family event catering before. Even for my in-laws. I never mind doing it because people usually appreciate it and throw me some cash for my effort. Last time I did it for my in-laws though, I swore it would be the last time and I have since stepped way back with them and so has my husband. What happened? A week before a joint party for mine and my husband's 5-year-old nephew and 7-year-old niece, my in-laws asked if I could make the food. I was a little frustrated at the short notice, but agreed. They told me there would be 50 people at the party and they'd have some chips there, but wanted a meal and treats plus birthday cake. So I spent 2 days getting everything ready with help from my husband when he wasn't at work. We got all the food there and my mother-in-law took it off us and set up the table. Nobody said thanks, nobody showed any kind of appreciation for the food. I tried not to let it bother me, but the only comment I got for doing all that was that hopefully there was enough food there. Then I went to get some of the food and I was told I couldn't eat it, that I had to eat the adult food, even though there was enough for me to eat what I wanted, and when I went to get a little more food I was told to stop, it was rude to eat their food. Almost everyone got a little more. There was plenty of food left at this point. A little while later, I hear my sister-in-law, mother of niece, complain that there wasn't enough food and not a lot of effort put in. I was pissed and we left. My husband's family got really pissy that I didn't stick around to help clean up after the party. They also complained they had to deal with leftovers. After all that, I swore I would not agree to cook again. My husband agreed. He told his family some appreciation would have gone a long way, especially when they didn't give me any money at all for it. Now my husband's youngest sister is having a baby shower and they want me to provide food again. I told them no. They're saying I'm an idiot because COVID means it's not easy to get outside catering and as part of the family I owe it to them. I laughed because they treated me very much like I'm not part of the family at the last party I catered for them. I was treated more like their servant. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. They are users and you should never indulge users. If they keep pressing, you tell them okay and present them with a full-on catering invoice and tell them that payment is upfront. And lay the price on thick to make sure it covers bought material and work hours plus an idiot client tax. If that doesn't shut them up, you can point out that nothing is free and that family should not exploit family, which is what they've been doing. And if they actually agree to the price, remember money first, then at least you'd get money for your work. Really, the backstory wasn't necessary to make my not the idiot judgment, but it does help solidify it. Look, you aren't obligated to provide your family with your services or talents, even if they're nice about it. You would only be an idiot if you contracted with a family or promised them you'd do it and then backed out for no good reason. I'm a lawyer and I disabused my family of the idea that I'm their lawyer a long time ago. I'm sure tax professionals deal with the same kind of entitlement sometimes. Not the idiot. Wow. So they complained because it didn't seem like much food and would barely let you eat, then they were upset about leftovers. Sounds like there was enough food. The way they treated you is terrible. You're not even a caterer. You decided to help out and got no praise or money for it. I honestly feel bad for any future caterer these people work with. If they can treat their own family member, who isn't a caterer, like that, then I can only imagine how they would treat someone they're paying. I've been divorced for almost 15 years. My girls are well-adjusted, bright, and articulate young adults with whom I have an excellent relationship and communicate on a regular, if not daily, basis. Both are attending college full-time and working nights and weekends to earn some extra spending money. The oldest graduates in May 2021. Like anyone who gets divorced, my child support payment was pretty stiff and included a 65-35 split that put me in a financial bind for a number of years. Regardless, I never missed a payment, provided for private education expenses, maintained their healthcare coverage, and continued financial assistance with extracurricular activities, school outings, medical bills, etc. While I might not have lived in the same city, I maintained an active role in their lives, spending holidays, taking vacations together, visiting family, attending school and sporting events, etc. Now that the girls are both adults and the youngest has graduated from high school, I recently terminated child support payments to their mother in accordance with state law. However, for the past 3 years, I've been paying for both children without issue, as it was always my intent to keep paying the full amount until the youngest was ready to go off to college. Yes, that's right, folks. I voluntarily paid an additional 3 years at the rate for 2 kids versus 1. Now that I've stopped paying her directly, Mama Bear has turned into a grizzly and is demanding I maintain my payments to her for the next 3 years until the youngest has graduated from college. Side note here, our divorce decree specifically states that we have no agreements or responsibilities regarding college expenses. So, for the benefit of my girls, I've continued to provide support and will continue to provide support. The difference now is that I'm working directly with the adult children and not my ex-wife. The ex is claiming all sorts of bills, but the girls assure me that they pay for almost everything, with the exception of their car insurance. So, I'm a bit frustrated here. I will always continue to support them and assist they as long as they help themselves, but am I really such an idiot because I want to support my adult children directly versus through my ex-wife? Unpopular opinion probably. But as a child of divorce who watched one parent struggle to afford necessities and would probably never be able to retire while the other was living very comfortably, new car when he wanted, nice home, eating out 2 or 3x a week, multiple vacations, it really hurt me to see how little he cared about my mom's well-being, despite how long they were together. If she's well off paying, but if she's struggling, helping her out will only make your kids love you more, even if it's not fair or legally required. Not the idiot. You literally went above and beyond your obligations to ensure your kids had a good future. You voluntarily paid 3 extra years of child support. And since the kids say they pay for pretty much everything except car insurance and is upset you want to give it directly to the kids now, it sounds like your ex is using your child support to fund her own lifestyle. You seem like a great parent. Keep being supportive to your kids, but absolutely cut your ex out of the equation. First of all, not the idiot. Not even a little bit. Personal story from the 1980s. My mom kept taking child support and alimony for several years. After I moved out, my brother moved in with our dad, and my mom moved her boyfriend, now husband, into our family home. My dad had to take her to court, which was expensive for him, to change the agreement because she wouldn't stop insisting she deserved the money. It took me more than a decade to forgive her for that, and she's admitted how wrong and mean she was.